Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Anjali Sharma from University of Delhi. Today we are going to talk on module Multipole Fields Part 3 under the paper Electromagnetic Theory. So after completing this module, the students will be able to know about the relating the multipole radiation to the source producing the radiation, spherical wave expansion of the Green's function for the Helmholtz equation, equations of the multipole coefficients in terms of sources, a look at the dipole cases to get some idea of the order of magnitude of the radiation, a semi-classical treatment of the radiation from atoms and nuclei. So let us study what are sources of multipole fields. After having studied the properties of the multipole radiation, the energy, angular momentum and the angular distribution etc., we now want to find the radiation produced by specific sources. These sources are the charge density, that is rho xt, and current density J xt. What we have in mind is the application of the ideas to emission of radiation from atoms and nuclei. With this perspective, we also include intrinsic magnetization, that is mxt, associated with the intrinsic spin. Since we can always analyze the time dependence into its Fourier components, from the very beginning we take the time dependence of the harmonics so that rho as function of xt is equals to rho as function of x into e raised to power minus I omega t, j vector as function of xt is equals to j vector as function of x into e raised to power minus I omega t, m vector as function of xt is equals to m vector as function of x into e raised to power minus I omega t. R vector dot E dash vector as function of x vector equals to minus z naught k divided by 4 pi into integral d cube x dash into e raised to power I k into mod of x vector minus x dash vector divided by x mod of x vector minus x dash vector into L dash vector with dot product bracket 1 divided by k square del dash cross j vector x dash plus m vector as function of x dash vector. Similarly, r vector dot h dash vector as function of x vector is equals to I divided by 4 pi into integral d cube x dash e raised to power iota k into mod of x vector minus x dash vector divided by mod of x vector minus x dash vector into L dash vector dot product bracket del cross m as function of x dash vector plus j vector as function of x dash vector. In multipole fields 1, we define outside the source GL as function of KR equals to AL1 into HL1 as function of KR plus AL2 into HL2 as function of KR, where HL2 as function of KR represents an incoming wave and hence AL2 is 0, and so we take GLKR is equals to FLKR equals to HL1KR. Spherical wave expansion of the Green's function. Following the same procedure as the Poisson's equation, we write the spherical wave expansion of Green's function for Helmholtz equation. Del square plus k square into g as function of x vector and x dash vector equals to minus del of x vector minus x dash vector. G as function of x vector and x dash vector equals to summation Lm of GL as function of r and r dash into y Lm conjugate as function of theta dash and phi dash into ylm as function of theta phi. This leads to the following equation for GL as function of KR as d square by dr square plus 2 by r into d by dr plus k square minus L into L plus 1 divided by r square whole into GL as function of r is equals to minus 1 divided by r square del of x vector minus x dash vector. The desired solution of this equation with correct discontinuity is e raised to power iota k into mod of x minus x dash divided by 4 pi into mod of x minus x dash is equals to iota k into summation for L equals to 0 to infinity of JL as function of KR into HL1 as function of KR into summation m equals to minus L to plus L of YLM conjugate as function of theta dash and phi dash into YLM as function of theta phi. Now let us see the equations for the coefficients. Take vector x to lie in a spherical surface completely enclosing the source. So we use integral y L dash m dash conjugate as function of theta phi into y Lm as function of theta phi d omega is equals to integral 0 to 2 pi d phi into integral 0 to pi sine theta d theta y L dash m dash conjugate as function of theta and phi into YLM as function of theta and phi is equals to del L dash into del MM dash, and obtain integral d omega into YLM conjugate of theta phi into e raised to power I k mod of x vector minus x dash vector divided by 4 pi mod of x vector minus x dash vector equals to iota k JL as function of KR dash into HL1 as function of KR into YLM conjugate as function of theta dash and phi dash. By using this equations 1 and 2 for the coefficients become AE as function of Lm equals to iota k cube divided by under root of L into L plus 1 into integral d cube x JL as function of KR into YLM conjugate as function of theta phi into L vector dot 1 divided by k squared del cross j vector plus m vector. Similarly, Am as function of Lm is equals to minus k squared divided by under root of L into L plus 1 into integral d cube x into JL as function of KR into YLM conjugate as function of theta phi into L vector dot del cross m vector plus j vector. These equations can be put in a more transparent form by using the vector relations. These relations are L vector dot A vector is equals to iota del dot R cross A vector and L vector dot del cross A vector is equals to iota del square R dot A vector minus iota divided by R del by del R of R square del dot A vector. This leads to AE as function of Lm is equals to minus k square divided by under root of L into L plus 1 into integral d cube x into JL as function of KR into YLM conjugate as function of theta phi into 1 divided by k square del square into R vector dot j vector minus iota c by k into 1 divided by R into del by del R of R square rho plus del dot R vector cross M vector. On using Green's theorem in the first term and partial radial integration in the second term in the square bracket, we finally get AE as function of Lm equals to k square divided by iota into under root of L into L plus 1 into integral d cube x into ylm conjugate as function of theta phi bracket iota k r dot j vector into jl as function of kr plus c rho into del by del r of r j l as function of kr minus iota k del dot r vector cross m vector into j l kr. Similarly, am as function of lm is equals to k square divided by iota under root of l into l plus 1 into integral d cube x ylm conjugate as function of theta phi bracket start del dot r vector cross j vector into jl as function of kr plus del dot m vector into del by del r of r j l as function of kr minus k square into r vector dot m vector into jl as function of kr bracket close. Let us see the further simplification. These results are valid for any source and any frequency. However, for many applications, particularly in nuclear and atomic systems, the source dimensions are very small compared to the wavelength. If r represents the size of the source, then kr must be less than 1. In such a situation, multipole coefficients can be simplified considerably. Now we can replace jl as function of kr by its small argument limits. So ae as function of lm equals to c into k raised to power l plus 2 divided by iota into 2l plus 1 factorial into under root of l plus m divided by l into q imaginary plus q dash imaginary, where the electric multipole moments are given by q imaginary equals to integral r raised to power l y l m conjugate into rho into d cube x q dash imaginary equals to minus I k divided by l plus 1 into c into integral r raised to power l into y l m conjugate into del dot r vector cross m vector into d cube x. The QLM is the same as the electric multipole moment defined in electrostatics, except of course that now the charge density is a function of time. The Q-LM is the induced electric multipole momentum due to intrinsic magnetization. It is generally much smaller than QLM. The electric multipole radiation is thus essentially determined by the charge density of a distribution. If we apply the same long wavelength limit kr less than 1 to the coefficient am, lm and follow the same procedure, we obtain the following approximate expression for these coefficients, that is am, lm is equals to I k raised to power l plus 2 divided by 2l plus 1 factorial into under root of l plus 1 divided by l into m lm plus m dash lm. Multipole radiation in atoms and nuclei. Radiation is produced in transition from one quantum state of an atom or nuclei to another. So basically multipole radiation in atoms and nuclei is a quantum process and requires the use of quantum mechanics. These are two distinct steps involved in this quantization process. One is that light is not emitted in a continuous process but a distinct quanta of energy h cross omega. Secondly, the source of radiation is a quantum mechanical system rather than a classical distribution of currents and charges. However, some qualitative aspects can be understood from a semi-classical treatment on the application of formulas derived above. Am as function of Lm equals to iota k L plus 2 divided by 2L plus 1 factorial into under root of L plus 1 divided by L into m imaginary plus m dash imaginary. The magnetic multipole moments are then determined by current magnetic moment densities and are m Lm equals to -1 divided by L plus 1 into integral r raised to power L into y Lm conjugate into del dot r vector cross j vector into d cube x, and m dash Lm equals to minus integral r raised to power L y Lm conjugate into del dot m vector d cube x. So for the dipole case where L equals to 1, let us look at the special case of dipole emission. So first, let us look at the contribution due to the charge density rho as function of r vector and current density j vector as function of r vector only. So for further consider first the special case of radiation in the m equals to 0 case. So others can be obtained by rotation. So Q10 is equals to integral r y 10 into rho d cube x equals to under root of 3 by 4 pi into integral z rho d cube x, and m10 equals to minus half into under root of 3 by 4 pi into integral z into del dot r vector cross j vector d cube x, which is further equals to 1 divided by 2 under root of 3 by 4 pi into integral x jy minus yjx into d cube x. The current density is of order rho v, so hence Am is smaller than Ae by a factor V by C, and the intensity by a factor of order V by C square. We have proved the result only for dipole radiation. It is in fact true for any multipole. For the dipole case, contribution of magnetization is Q-10 equals to iota k divided by 2c into under root of 3 by 4 pi into integral r vector cross m vector z d cube x, and similarly m-10 equals to under root of 3 by 4 pi into integral mz d cube x. Thus, the electric multipole transitions are dominated by the charge density with small contribution from the intrinsic magnetization. On the other hand, the magnetic multipole transitions get similar contribution from orbital magnetization and intrinsic magnetization due to spin. In atoms, it is the electrons that are the source of radiation. The size of the system depends on whether radiation is being emitted by the valence electron or by the inner orbit electrons. If A0 is the radius of the Bohr atom, the size of the radiating system can be written as R is equals to O A0 divided by Z effective. The Z effective is of order unity for valence electron transitions and of order Z for inner shell electron X-ray transitions. Now let us see the transition probability. The transition probability is equals to the radiated power divided by energy of photon. So hence for electric radiation, tau E as function of Lm equals to omega Z0 k raised to power 2L divided by 2h cross into 2L plus 1 factorial whole square into L plus 1 divided by L into mod of QLm plus Q dash Lm whole square. For magnetic radiation, tau m as function of Lm equals to omega Z0 k raised to power 2L divided by 2h cross c square into 2L plus 1 factorial whole square into L plus 1 divided by L into mod of MIM plus M dash IM whole square. Mod of QLm is equals to O E R raised to power I and m vector is equals to O into e raised to power h cross divided by m r cube. Then mod of q dash lm equals to O h cross omega divided by mc square e into r raised to power l. 1 divided by c m lm plus m dash lm is equals to O h cross by mc e into r raised to power l minus 1. So both in atomic and nuclei, the transition energies h cross omega are usually small compared to the rest energy mc square of the system. This implies that we can expect q dash lm to be much less than q lm. Electric multipole transitions are dominated by the change density with small contribution from intrinsic magnetization. Magnetic multipole transition gets similar contribution from orbital magnetization and intrinsic magnetization due to spin. In atoms, electrons are the source of radiation. The size of the system depends on whether radiation is being emitted by the valence electrons or by the inner orbit electrons. So if A0 is the radius of Bohr atom, size of the radiating system can be written as R equals to O A0 divided by Z effective, and Z effective is of order unity for valence electron transitions and of order Z for inertial electron X-ray transitions. So relative amplitude of the magnetic multipole movement to the electric multipole movement of the same order is mod of m divided by c into mod of q equals to O h cross by m c r equals to O h cross z effective by m c a naught equals to O z effective by 137. This implies that tau m l divided by tau e l equals to O z effective by 137 whole square. For valence electron transitions, this ratio is O into 1 divided by 137 square. Hence, magnetic transitions are completely negligible compared to the electric transitions of the same order. For X-ray transitions in heavy elements, Z effective is almost equals to Z, which tends to Z effective divided by 137 whole square is still small but not negligible. Only in this situation where X-ray transition in heavy elements are the magnetic transitions of any significance. However, there is an overriding clause due to the selection rule. If the lowest order electric transition is forbidden but the corresponding magnetic transition is allowed by the selection rule, then such a transition may also be important. The relative size of transition, electric or magnetic, differing in order by 1 unit is also of interest. So tau L plus 1 divided by tau L equals to O k r square. In atoms, the transition energies are O z effective square into mc square divided by 137 square. The radius is r equals to O a naught by z effective equals to O 137 h cross divided by mc z effective, which implies that kr equals to O z effective divided by 137. So this implies that tau L plus 1 divided by tau L equals to O z effective divided by 137 whole square is equals to O tau m as function of L divided by tau e as function of L. Thus, if the selection rules allow several multipole, the lowest allowed order generally dominates. The ratio of the magnetic to electric transition probability is of the order of the ratio of probability of L plus 1 to L transition. Thus, if the lowest allowed magnetic transition is of order L but electric is of order L plus 1, then the two can be of same order. But in the opposite case, the magnetic transition is completely negligible. In nuclei also, the estimate tau L plus 1 divided by tau L equals to OZ effective by 137 whole square equals to O tau ml divided by tau EL holds true. Numerically, the nuclear radius are approximated to 1.4 into 10 raised to power minus 15 into a raised to power 1 by 3. This implies that Kr is approximated to 1.4 into 10 raised to power minus 15 h cross omega by h cross c into a raised to power 1 by 3, which is approximately equals to h cross omega MeV divided by 140 a raised to power 1 by 3. So transition energies in nuclei vary over a wide range from few kilovolt to several megavolt. So Ker can be approximated to 0.1 to 0.0001. Thus, for high energy transitions, the suppression factor for higher order transition is not very large. However, for low energy transitions, higher order multipoles are generally suppressed. So students, let us now summarize what we have learned in this module. After having studied the properties of multipole radiations, we next wish to relate them to the sources of these radiations. Since we have in mind radiations from atoms and the nuclei, the intrinsic magnetization of atoms and nuclei due to spin angular momentum is explicitly included in this study. To relate the sources to the coefficient in the multipole expansion, we obtain spherical wave solutions of the Helmholtz equation. Next, we look into the special case of multipole radiations and concluded that the magnetic dipole radiation is weaker than the electric dipole radiation by a factor of V square by C square. This is in fact true for multipoles of all orders. Lastly, we briefly look at the multipole radiation in atoms and nuclei. This subject requires quantum mechanics for its proper treatment. So all we do is to make some general comments on radiation in atoms and nuclei. Thank you.